Om Shri Sai Ram. Humble prostrations at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Master, Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. Gita Vahini, Chapter 2. Arjuna's despondency at having to fight. Krishna's teaching, beginning with Chapter 2, verse 11. Krishna and Arjuna become Guru and disciple. Summary. Overcome by sorrow and delusion, Arjuna turns from war and keeps his weapons aside. He is dejected in his chariot, halted between the two opposing forces. He surveys the faces of his kith and kin. He is overcome by pity. He swears he will not engage in fighting. When Sanjaya reported this to the blind king Dhritarashtra, the king was overjoyed, for victory was within grasp. But Sanjaya, who had divine vision, felt, what is this insane joy that is affecting him? When the Lord himself is on the side of the Pandavas, how can this king's wicked plan succeed? But Arjuna had teardrops falling down his cheeks. Even the Lord could not bear the sight. He knew in a trice that the malady of delusion caused by false evaluation had penetrated his three bodies, the gross, the subtle, and the causal. Egotism was really under this veil of pity. So the Lord decided to cure him of that weakness. People who have the Lord by their side need entertain no fear. The Lord is the supreme doctor. Narayana was the doctor Arjuna needed and got. Krishna's immortality-bestowing teaching begins from this 11th verse. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita starts from this point. Up to this point, it is the description of Arjuna's delusion, born of ignorance and dullness of intellect. When at last Arjuna threw down his bow and refused to fight, when he confessed that he had lost all sense of right and wrong, when he prayed that Krishna should teach him the way that would best solve his problems, then Krishna came forward. Krishna then strongly admonishes Arjuna, stating how unbecoming was his weakness, reminds him of the unjust sufferings that the Pandavas had undergone. He also said, "This war was decided on after long deliberation. It was not a hasty resolution taken in a fit of anger. Responsible elders weighed the pros and cons and concluded that a resort to arms was inevitable. Think of your duty as a member of the warrior caste to uphold dharma, to protect justice. Yours is the wealth of courage, adventure, and steadiness. But you are overpowered by this strange detachment, which is pathetically out of place. You have earned the title Conqueror, Vijaya, by the prowess of your arm. Don't tarnish the reputation that you won by a lifetime of effort. Give up this weakening delusion. Pluck this delusion by the roots. Reduce this fear to ashes. Become a hero again." Thus exhorted Krishna. Krishna used 4 words in this context: faint-heartedness, kashmalam; ignoble nature, anaryajustam; the quality that destroys the divine in humans, aswargyam; and the quality that causes the decline of the fame that is lasting, akirtikaram. Arjuna found words to ask, how? That term reveals much. It shows that the Gita expounds not merely on what has to be done, but even on how it has to be done. Arjuna reminds Krishna that in his eyes, some of the persons he would need to do battle with were worthy of worship. Bhishma, Drona, and the elders had taught him everything he knew and loved him dearly as he did them. It would be a sin if he used his arrows to kill them. He added, "I feel it is better to live on alms collected from door to door. Food won through killing such people is mixed with their blood, and I would prefer a meal got through beggary. If by chance they win, then beggary is inevitable. If we win, it is as bad as losing. For of what gain is victory if the price we pay is the destruction of kith and kin? we gain but inconsolable grief for the rest of our life. Arjuna then added, "My intelligence has deserted me. I cannot distinguish between right and wrong, dharma and adharma. I am helpless. As you guide this chariot, guide me also and show me the way. Moreover, I am no longer concerned with worldly prosperity. I crave only spiritual progress." From that moment, Krishna became the Guru and Arjuna the disciple. Until Arjuna accepted this attitude of a learner, his heart was filled with egotism and weakness. The hero had become a zero. Love is the viewpoint of Krishna and delusion or Brahma is the viewpoint of Arjuna. Arjuna suffered from agony because of that. Then he realized that egotism led only to further ignorance and confusion. He surrendered his judgment to the Lord and saved himself. He said he was but an instrument in the hands of the Lord. Recognizing one's error is the first excellence of a good disciple. It is the beginning of wisdom. Only the foolish will feel they know all and suffer from the dire disease of a swelled head. Key takeaways from this chapter. First, Arjuna's early despondency is that of a confused but otherwise noble and well-intentioned person, who many of us may be like. He takes a bold decision driven by his ego and sense of doership, and then suddenly gets weak second thoughts when fully understanding the pain implications that the decision would cause, and want to retreat not only from the decision but from the whole situation itself. Arjuna thus mirrors the timeless dilemma of every earnest yet ego-driven mind across the ages. Second, Krishna's early admonishment of Arjuna appears in every way something that one good friend would do for another caught up in weakness. He criticizes his despondency, reminds him of his innate strengths, the injustices done to them, and justifies why Arjuna should rightfully fight. Yet, hidden in here is again an ego-driven response from the Lord on the why Arjuna should fight, which is yet unsatisfying to Arjuna. When the ego laments, the Lord offers back an ego-driven solution. It is only later, when the Atma seeks, is when the Paramatma reveals the real answer. Third, Arjuna's realization that any eventuality in the war, be it victory or defeat, will in effect seem like only a defeat to him, led him to declare his complete inability to decide anything and surrender fully to Krishna as the Guru and guide, more than just a friend's counsel. This act of active surrender of our ego to the higher wisdom of the Lord is what opens the key to access the higher consciousness and Atmic awareness of ourselves eventually. Fourth, self-diagnosis of the disease of a swollen head is by far better than waiting for the world to point it out and bring you crashing down hard. It is best to take your damaged vehicle to an expert mechanic to fix it rather than foolishly attempt ignorantly by yourself and cause a severe accident. End of chapter 2. Jai Sai Ram.